What's up everyone, welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel writing music reviews. My name is Aaron, and if it's your first time seeing one of my videos, I'd like to welcome my channel where we just chill and talk about the things that we love or hate. And if you have anything you want me to review, new, old, album, EP, single, whatever, leave a comment below letting me know what it is and I'll make it happen for you. And if you do that, or you just happen to like what you see here, you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. But for today's video, we're going to be checking out the new album Celebrity Therapist by the band the Callous Daoboys. For those of you who don't know who they are, which I'm sure there's a lot because this is a fairly new band, they are a mathcore band from Georgia. They started around 2016, and this is their third studio album and probably my most requested review so far. Just about every other video I've come out with for the past 2 months has at least one comment requesting that I do a review on this album, or I check out one of the singles that they've released. The anticipation for this album definitely has been building as everyone's been giving a lot of praise, but don't worry because I refuse to let this become something that's overhyped when I go in and listen to it, where it was, you know, I expect it to completely blow my mind and it doesn't, so I give it a really low rating. I try to stay as neutral as I can in that aspect. So I didn't go into this thinking that this album is going to cure cancer or anything like that. So don't worry, don't think that just because it's been hyped up a lot on my channel, a lot of people have been requesting, I'm not going into it expect it to be the greatest music I've ever heard, even though I do believe that is a possibility. The first song on the album is Violent Astrology, and it starts things off in pure chaos. It kind of bounces back and forth in and out of hardcore and mathcore, making for a very uneasy atmosphere. The lyrics are almost as aggressive as the music is, as it's calling out how ridiculous the fundamentals are in America and how we kind of idolize Instagram models and people who portray fake lives, and it's just, it's gotten pretty far. It's become very vain, and the lyrics don't hold back in pointing this out whatsoever. The bridge does offer some safety from all the chaos as the music kind of winds down a little bit, and the vocals are phenomenal, whether distorted or clean, and the distorted vocals kind of remind me a little bit of John Mess or maybe Keith Buckley. Then we have the song A Brief Article Regarding Time Loops. I enjoy all the different names throughout this album a lot. Again though, absolute chaos, but once the main groove comes in, it is just the chef's kiss. The bass line is really sick, and the drums, they all just create like this perfect rhythm for the guitar that continues to play this insane riff. It's just very chaotic in the background of this really, really good groove. And the breakdown and the bridge also create a lot of suspense, complete with some fierce vocal delivery. And the final chorus is a little bit more intense than the first time it came around, and it makes the song feel very progressive as it just continues to build and build. The lyrics in the song Beautiful Dude Missile have a lot of great metaphors to them, and I believe that this song is a reference to a series called Monster Factory, where one of the main characters says the song title in one of the episodes. The music kind of starts off in like a horror movie kind of fashion. I don't know if it's just me, but it had that same kind of thing from Psycho where it's like ring, ring, ring kind of groove to the music. And it cuts out for this really beautiful, calm moment before jumping right back into the chaos. And the chorus section of the song has a really catchy groove. I find it very impressive that they can hang on to music that feels like it's all over the place, and it doesn't really seem like there's any rhyme or reason to it, and then every once in a while they can make it make sense without really pulling away from that too much. It still feels really just hectic and insane, but at the same time now you're like, oh okay, yeah, I kind of get it, and you can start bobbing your head a little bit. And then we have the song Title Track, which is one of my favorite songs, and it's literally called Title Track. It's one of my favorite songs on this album. It starts off with some rain and some synth, and it comes in really heavy with the stop and go kind of rhythm. The verse is so good with this palm muted guitar and clean vocals and like a female and male vocal duet. And it gets almost jazzy with a really bass heavy groove. It just keeps evolving and growing as it goes into the chorus, and like this has these random hardcore moments in there. The bridge is an emotional climax to an outro that's just a full release of what this song, it just feels like it's been building into. As it keeps going, you're just waiting for it to just erupt, and it finally does in the outro. Another one of my favorite songs off of this album is Field Sobriety Practice, which has almost like this musical vibe to it thanks to the clean vocals and the clean guitar, but that changes rather quickly as we get into the verse. The distorted vocals take over, but then they like kind of share the spotlight a little bit with the clean vocals, and it makes it sound so delicate and so aggressive all at the same time. However, right afterwards, the distorted vocals get extremely low and very powerful thanks to the different vocal layering. There's just so many changes in this song. It makes it feel even more like a story. It makes it feel very progressive more than anything else, or maybe like a case of like schizophrenia, maybe, with all the different vocal stuff going on, especially in like the last 2 minutes of the song that's complete with the melodic guitar solo. This song literally just has everything. It's hardcore. It has a really good storytelling aspect to it. It's just, it's everything you could want, and it's really hard for me to pick which one was my favorite between Title Track or Field Sobriety Practice. And I feel like this one just might edge it out just a little bit more. Yeah, I can't really tell you why, but I just dig it a lot more. And we have the song The Elephant Man in the Room, which, again, I love the song titles in this album. This one goes back to bringing the heat, a little bit less melodic, a little bit more hardcore and hectic. However, the meat of this song really does have a dynamic riff, and I've been feeling this for quite a while listening to this album, but this song really reminds me a lot of Every Time I Die. I mean, lyrically, vocally, musically, all of it. It's just there, but with a little bit more mathcore guitar noodling going on, which is not a bad thing whatsoever. Then we have the song What Is Delicious, Who Swarms, which is... there's like a painting of like an album thing, or like an album artwork painting thing, where it says it's going to answer a lot of questions, and it's a lot of random questions, and these are the last two questions on the front cover of it. What is delicious, who swarms? So that's why it probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And this kind of continues that same vibe of Every Time I Die. The clean vocals are just so relaxing when they come in, but then the guttural vocals, they're like a defibrillator, just bringing all that adrenaline back into you. The bridge is quite enjoyable with a saxophone, which is super sexy. The female vocals really accent the distortive vocals in almost like a conversation kind of fashion, going back and forth, and they just bring another layering to the song. And the last half of this album is just really... it's really bringing it. It sounds so good. And that brings us to the closing track, Star Baby. The intro on this song reminds me a lot of Money for Nothing by Dire Straits, probably just because it says I want my MTV in the intro, which took me right there mentally. The lyrics have a lot of different metaphors, so it could be kind of interpreted in different ways, which I enjoyed a lot. It sounds like there could be some keyboard thrown in there. It's kind of hard to tell because there's just a lot of stuff happening. The chorus section, if that's what you want to call it, creates like this feeling of like back and forth. They're like push and pull for all my weightlifter viewers out there. The bridge has like this kind of a sitcom kind of vibe to it, which I enjoyed a lot. And there's like a saxophone solo before it finishes off in a very euphoric kind of way. This is a great finisher to this album. I enjoyed it a lot. I love how this album starts off really chaotic and you're not really sure what it's gonna be, but as you go on this journey, by the time you get to the end, it all really just makes sense, and you kind of get it, and by the time it's over, you're really starting to understand where they're going musically with this. I enjoyed this album a lot. The creativity in this thing is absolutely insane. The thought that went into writing these songs is just so far beyond what my mind can comprehend. And there's just so many flawless transitions that feel very abrupt, but they work out very well. The music and vocals get the desired emotion across, either in a hardcore or a theatrical kind of way. And it's really hard for me to find anything bad to say about this. The only thing I can really think of is the chaos and the insanity that is within these songs, because sometimes feel kind of like they're doing the same thing over and over again. But if you really listen to them and you really digest this album and you listen to it multiple times, you really start to pick up on all the different nuances, different sounds that are thrown into these songs, and just the different grooves. And I feel like that's mostly just what happens in the intros of these songs, more or less in the first half than the last half. The last half, they kind of start to fall into the groove of the music, where the first half, it just feels like it's scattered and it's everywhere. But I mean, we may have lost Every Time I Die. They're not a band anymore. But I mean, it might be weird to say, and people might not agree with me, but I feel like the Callous Daoboys might be able to fill that hole, because to me, I mean, they're there lyrically, they're definitely there. They're very aggressive musically. They have these really cool calming moments. Sure, they're a little bit more mathcore and they noodle around a little bit more, and there's a little bit more melodic grooves within their music, but I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just got a strong sense of like a every time I die evolution kind of thing happening here. And I feel like this is like the new generation of that style of music. So yeah, with all that said, I gotta give Celebrity Therapist by the Callous Daoboys a 8.8 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. Like I said before, there's been a lot of requests for this album, so I'm expecting to hear some opinions on this album. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Celebrity Therapist. Let me know what you would rate it and what your favorite song is. While you're down there, also let me know what you want me to review next. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. If you want to help support me and my channel, you don't want to miss out on any of my future reviews, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of that stuff just helps me out tremendously. I appreciate it more than you guys could ever imagine. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to me sit here and talk about music. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time. I was